co-pilot using technology to amplify your impact. As part of this year's theme, Reframe, Rebuild, Reignite, this session will explore how AI can amplify leadership impact. And it is my pleasure to introduce Fred Underwood. He is an Azure Cloud and AI Solution Advisor with Microsoft and Dream Big Tech CEO. Please join me in welcoming Fred.
Hi. So I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. So Jay-Z said that back in 2005, right? Over 20 years ago. And everybody at the time thought it was some type of flex, right? Talking about money, cars, and all this other stuff, right? But he really was speaking a different language to say, hey, I'm an ecosystem, I'm an organization. I'm bigger than just being a businessman. Everybody thought about it as like, I'm a businessman, I'm just going to work and I'm going and doing my thing, right? As a singular person, right? And at that time, that meant getting a record deal, getting a clothing line, going in and having some type of other business sponsorships and things like that. And that all seemed cool for everybody, right? But in 2026, that ecosystem has changed and that has taken a different form, and how people use it is going to be totally different. And so today, that is going to look like using AI as your co-pilot, using technology to amplify your impact and make a bigger impact for you even when you're not in the room. So as we start, I want to introduce myself. As she said, I'm Fred Underwood. I work for Microsoft. My company is Dream Big Tech, where I help people leverage AI to make themselves bigger than what they are and to help those dreams come true. So a lot of times people come and they talk about things in theory. But I want to talk about, for me, I don't just talk in theory. I built this in the field. It's my background, so I'll start there. I didn't come from a tech family. I didn't come from Silicon Valley or anything like that. Had a background of people who are going to put me into tech, right? I grew up in a military family, so that meant I moved around a lot. Got to see the world, got to do a lot of different things. But what that looked like is going into new rooms all the time, going into new schools, different environments, learning different people. But what it really did, it really taught me that I didn't understand then was it taught me to adapt and learn different rooms and learn how to maneuver in different rooms, learn how to interact with different people. And that skill set has helped me throughout my career. It helped me go to a HBCU. It helped me play basketball at the collegiate level. It helped me go into corporate America and be a sales hunter and go out and find everything that I needed. All right, but it also helped me take that information and then leverage it to go to Microsoft. And then I went to Amazon, and now I'm back at Microsoft. So it helped me go throughout this process and really understand how to position myself by using technology and using these skills to go further in my career. And so that's how I want to talk about how AI supports those workflows, using these AI tools in business, and how to leverage it to whatever your goals are to make sure that you're able to reach them through that. And then another thing is just seeing how teams evolve. I was able to see at a very high level of what these corporations and what these people are doing and how the environment is changing. Like I said, being at 3 of the biggest companies in the world, you get to see how they're leading their teams. What are some of the things that they're thinking about? How are they changing and adapting to the environment out in the world? And that comes from different things, right? I've been laid off 3 times. So that is something that you have to understand and have to be adaptable. So you get into these environments in these spaces and you see that they are going to move how they see it going in the real world, but you have to make yourself marketable, because even when you think about it from the standpoint of I've been laid off 3 times, I've gotten more opportunities even after that. So it's about building your network, using technology to make sure that you're marketable, and when someone is looking for somebody, they're looking for you. And so that's very important. And before we go into some of the data and stuff like that, I think I told you I'm a athlete. I'm a former student athlete. So the way I like to think about it is Steph Curry. I know many of you probably are familiar with Steph Curry, but he changed the game and forced everyone to adapt. And that's what AI is doing to the market right now. Everybody's getting scared. Everybody's looking at what the AI is doing. What is going to happen next? What is this going to do? How is this going to change the game? But so I want to use Steph as an analogy to help lay the framework and lay the foundation for what we're going to talk about. So what changed? The shot selection changed entirely. I saw a stat that said that in 2014, the 3-point field goal increased by 86% So the entire game strategy just changed. If you watch a game, a lot of people complain about it. I'm not one of those people. I think it's just a matter of evolution. The game changes, and the people who get upset about what the game used to look like, they're going to get left behind. You have to adapt with the changes of the game. So the 3-point percentage, it didn't go down. It's going up, right? But the 3-point attempts are going up. So when everybody's complaining about they're shooting too many threes, they're shooting it at an efficient rate. So it's the same thing when people are complaining about AI. It's like, oh, AI is not going to help you think. AI is going to take away your ability to think and critically think. The people who don't critically think, it's going to do that. But the ones who are smart and able to adapt, they're going to learn to use it to adapt and understand how to make it more efficient for them and to help their critical thinking. So if you are able to be practical and you're able to have these conversations and you're able to ask it good questions, then you're going to get good answers and you're going to amplify that ability to think. It's going to help you. So that's what the 3-point shot did for the NBA. So what didn't change was the talent, the basketball IQ, the hard work and the work ethic. When people overlook that in basketball, when they're shooting these 3-pointers, they have to go in the gym and get good at shooting these 3-pointers. They don't just shoot them and then they're not good at it. Think about that back in the day, the 7-foot center couldn't shoot a 3-pointer. They had to adapt and be able to go into the gym and get better and work on their game and be able to make it. Same thing with AI. You have to go, get in front of the computer, take the courses, get the certifications, watch the YouTube videos, follow the people that are experts in this thing, follow the companies that are doing groundbreaking technology and finding these new ways to use it, find a use case that works for you, and that's how you're going to be able to win. And then the other thing is the people that won adapted early, right? They didn't fight against AI. They didn't fight against the 3-point shot. They leaned in, they changed their roster. The GMs, they fit what they needed to do to win. I remember even going back to when Golden State was making their run, the Houston Rockets mimicked what they were doing and they were able to compete with them, right? So that's how you have to think about AI. The people who are still fighting against it are going to be the ones that are still left behind. Now, every time I go somewhere, and some people probably have heard, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's the person who knows how to use AI better than you that's going to take your job. The people that know how to use it, that are in the rooms, that are doing the work, and that are trying to learn it are going to be the ones that get the phone call and they get the opportunities that you are looking for because they learned how to use it. And that's going to be a part of the interview process. That's going to be a part of moving up. They're going to ask questions. Like I said, I'm at Microsoft and they are asking these questions. Hey, how are you using this in your day-to-day basis? That's going to be a part of everybody's job interview at a certain point. And we'll go deeper into the numbers and the data and everything a little bit. So again, like I said, this is not a trend. This is the new playing field. So it's a 77% adoption rate for companies that are already using or actively exploring AI. And it's expected to have a $4 trillion economic impact for global driven economic impact value for it. And then 97 million new AI roles with net new jobs created in the economy. So those numbers are showing you that this is not something that people are thinking about. It's not something that people are about. This is something that's already happening, and the big companies are already positioning themselves to be at the forefront. So if you want to be a part of that, you're going to have to learn it. And it's not something that has to be scary for you, right? It's something that is going to be exciting. It's going to be different for each person. It's going to be something that you are going to learn how to use, and it's going to be something that you are going to learn how to benefit you in certain ways, right? So, and the other thing that I said, 51, and we'll talk about AI agents in a little bit, but 51% of companies are already deploying AI agents in production, 327% growth, enterprise agent adoption, which is the fastest in tech history. You got to think about like things like when everybody talked about the AI bubble and when that happened, the internet bubble. Like that was something that was crazy big and boom and changed everything. So this is what AI is doing, but on a higher scale because it's moving faster than we can even imagine. And that's something that is going to be, that's already here, but you have to make sure that you are staying on top of it. Understand that it's the new playing field and don't fight against it. Don't push back on it. Just lean in and understand it. And don't be scared of it. Like one big thing is do not be scared of it. Just be like how you're using it. All the things that we want to make sure that we are, and Microsoft is really big on and the adoption of it and how people are being ready for it, right? So how the transparency, the fairness, all those things going to be something that's really big. So the new playbook is you go from the player to the play caller, right? So the most valuable professionals are no longer just executing the task. They're designing systems, directing agents, orchestrating outcomes, and they are doing this at scale. This is something that's going to evolve as like at top, people were just going do your manual execution. You're going to work and you're getting in front of your computer and you are sending the email, you are writing the document, you're creating the PowerPoint. You're creating the Excel, you're analyzing the Excel yourself. You're taking meeting notes by yourself, by hand. You walk into a meeting, all those things, that is something that is no longer going to be a thing. So you have to be able to use these tools to adapt, right? Because if you're in the meeting and you are writing down the notes by hand, but somebody beside you is able to pay attention to the meeting, they're able to have AI transcribe the meeting, and they're able to get those notes at the end of the meeting. Who do you think was having a more efficient meeting, right? So and you move it, and it goes to Copilot, right? That's the next step, is AI is assisting you in thinking and drafts. So that's where some people might already be, right? So they know how to use the AI, they're putting in a prompt, and they're saying, hey, AI, think for me, do this for me, do that, right? That is okay, you're using there. You're not being afraid of it. You're using AI to where people are. Then you get to the coworker, right? Now you're collaborating. You're actually, when we talked about a little bit earlier about actually critically thinking, asking it good questions. Like, help walk me through how to think about this project that we're going through. Help me think about this project that we're going through. You're actually working together. You're critically thinking. You're doing some deeper dives, and you're working together. That's going to be more complex, and that's going to give you a better outcome. Then the next step is an agent, right? So now it's working autonomously for you, right? Agent is, hey, every Monday I want you to search my email, give me a recap of everything that happened this weekend, and give me a brief of what I need to do, create my to-do list, things like that. That's where you're taking it to the next level, and AI is actually working autonomously. Like it already knows its task. It is executing on your behalf and working autonomously. And then last is you're taking all of these things and you're creating a system around it. The value is shifting as you go down these paths, and that's going to be the new playbook. So really think about that, and I'm going to give you some ways to do that in the future. And so, like I said, we're talking about going from generative AI to agentic AI. So generative AI answers your questions. It assists with one task at a time. It waits for your next prompt, and you direct it at every step. Agentic AI is going to act on your behalf. You're going to tell it, hey, this is what even when you go into your AI system, you're going to tell it, hey, this is how I want you to react. This is how I want you to think. This is a little bit about me, and this is how I want you to perform. So it's going to execute multi-step workflows autonomously. You're going to be able to connect apps and systems together. So like your Gmail, you have your Zapier, you're going to have your Zoom, you're going to have maybe your Google Drive, things like that. And they're all going to be connected together, and they're going to work together to get the outcome that you're looking for it to get. And you're going to teach it to do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, quick question.
Yep.
Because I've been talking about this in my class too. And so right now I think I'm doing a lot of the generative AI.
Mm-hmm.
So is the agent already built in and already running, or is it something also?
Yeah, so it's an ongoing process, but yes, you're prompting it once, and then you're going to set up, you're going to lay the foundation. It's like you build it, and then it works for you. Right, so you're in a lot of Microsoft Copilot, and you'll build the agent, and you'll tell the agent what you want it to do, and then it's going to connect with the different applications, and then it's going to run based on that.
Okay. So basically, you already teach and give it a framework,
Mm-hmm.
and then it runs, and then based on how it runs, you may say like, hey, I don't like this, and then
Yeah, you could tweak it. Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Versus generative is like every time maybe you could just open a chat.
Yep, you open a chat, you're just having a conversation.
Okay.
Yep. So it's like versus like you come in and I tell you, hey, this is your job. This is what you're going to do. And then you just go do exactly what I tell you to do. Versus if I have a team, then I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, hey, this is what you need to do. This is how you should think. And I want you to do this task. And I want you to do it every day. And you can it actually think about how it's doing it. Or if think about it from this standpoint of generative AI, is going to you're telling it, hey, I want you to write me a paragraph, versus I want you to take I want you to go into this file, and I want you to take this file, I want you to analyze this file, and then I want you to create a draft for me. Then I want you to send an email. Like it's taking a multi-step process, and it's going to be able to think and autonomously do it for you. No problem. So let's see. Make sure I go back. So think about that from an agent adoption standpoint. Like even at work right now, we are learning how to use different agents, and we're learning how to deploy them for how you're going to work in the future. My thought is that eventually it's not going to be necessarily just generative AI. You're going to be asked to manage different AI agents. So that's why, and I keep going back to this from the standpoint of AI taking your job versus you using AI in the workplace. You're going to be able to create these agents or to be able to manage these agents. Like you're a manager at this point, like, right? That's where the work is going to be able to change, is like you are the one that's managing the AI agents to be able to do the job. So the job that you're doing changes in itself, right? And that's where you're gonna be asked. And I've saw a stat about the white collar job like shrinking, right? So because if you have AI agents, you are going to be able to separate a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs are going to go away, but there are going to be more jobs that open. But the people who are going to get those jobs are the ones that know how to manage the AI agents and do the job that they're trying to do. You have to be able to think past just X, Y, Z. You're going to have to be able to go and think how this is going to change the company and how it's going to change company outcomes. You're going to have to think in outcomes, right? A lot of people are just thinking in, I do this, I want you to do this, and it's straightforward. And they're going to want people who can think beyond that and think in outcome-driven strategy. All right, so run the play. My thought is I want to be able to give you all a framework to be able to use to take away from today, right? And so the thing is, you clarify your goals, which is you make sure you're defining the outcome of each tool that you're going to need. So for everybody, it's going to be different of how you use these tools and what you want, but you have to clarify that goal. And then you can automate your routine. Make sure that based on what your goals are, you're putting the tools in place to be able to automate that routine that you're trying to go through. And then position yourself publicly. So share those wins that you're using, make sure you're visible, even learning in public, right? I think that's a big thing. That's going to be something that is going to help you in the future, because like I said, you need to be like, your brand needs to be able to speak for you when you're not in rooms. The same way that AI is working for you when you're not in that room, not in front of that computer, your brand needs to be able to speak for you. So what people are saying about you, what people think about you, what people are able to see that you've done, and see how you've been able to do it. And then from a prompting standpoint, I want to make sure that I teach you all how to prompt, right? So 2 ways, right? These are 2 simple things that you can remember. So task, give it the task. So what you need done, what's the audience, who's this for, the goal, what that success looks like, and then race. Give it a role, who AI should be. So like, hey, I want you to be a marketing director. Then the action, what I want you to do, I want you to create this product brief. And in the context, give the situation, hey, we're preparing for this conference, the Robinson Conference. And then the expectation. What's the output that you wanted to give it to you in? I want you to give it to me in a PowerPoint presentation. So remembering those prompts and how to prompt every time, give it these clear framework so you can get the outcome that you're looking for. That's how you're going to be able to do it. So if you prompt better, you're going to build better systems, and you're going to create more leverage for yourself. And that goes from prompting the AI for who you are as a professional as you go into this new workforce. Yes.
Sorry, this might be really basic. You're talking about tools as separate.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that basically you can build several tools within the same AI client, right? how do you know when you need a separate tool? How do you develop?
So I want to make sure I understand it. So when you,
Project-based.
yeah, it could be either or. So and when we talk about the tools, like I'm thinking, like, you know, think about like Microsoft when I said Copilot. So like it might be using PowerPoint, Excel. You may be using Word, Microsoft Teams for your meetings, or like if you're using something like Claude, maybe, hey, I want to connect my Google Workspace. I want to connect my Gmail, connect my Google Drive, and then that's where it's going to. And then there's all types of apps and things like that. So it's just a matter of what the use case is and what you're going to be using it for.
Got it. So it's
Yeah,
not-
and talking about like let's just say ChatGPT, Claude, or something like that, or like what do you mean?
Yeah, I think some of the wording under like.
Yes. Okay, so when I say that, that's more just in general, like when you're talking about your how you're moving in this professional environment. So clarifying the goals that you're wanting, and that goes, like you said, I think from a project standpoint, it's more so if this is the project, clarify your goals. Like make sure that you understand what the outcome is. Hey, I'm trying to get a job at a big Fortune 5 company or something like that. That's the goal. And then now your routine changes. Like I know a lot of people are in the job market right now, and they're, you know, that might be a part of their goals. Like, hey, I want this company, so that would be clarifying your goals. Or maybe if it's you're already at work, the goal may be, hey, I want a new job, or I want a new role. I want to get promoted. Whatever that, like that's the base framework, and then your routine is going to be done based on that. So if it's I'm in the job market and my goal may be, like I said, get a job, the automation of the routine is I might tell this agent, hey, every Monday I'm going to put files into this folder. I want you to look in this folder, and I want you to take and to tailor my resume to this job rec. There's ways you could do that.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Okay. So my thing is make your move this week. So automate one task, pick the most repetitive daily task, email, reporting, scheduling, something that you already are doing, and automate it. You can go to apps like Zapier. You can go if this and then that. Like sometimes I've had like, okay, hey, create this post on LinkedIn for me every Monday, and it's going to say this, and then publish one AI assisted post. So this is again around the framework of building your brand. So publish something that you learned about AI on LinkedIn, and then build one new connection. Make sure that you're reaching out to somebody. I at the start of this year, I talked about something that I wanted to do, and that was get a shot up every day. And when I say, like, I put everything into basketball. So getting a shot up every day was, hey, I'm going to reach out to one person each day and make sure that I'm shooting my shot and making a connection and trying to grow my brand and reach out to different people and grow. So all along, connect with me on LinkedIn, all social platforms, Dream Big Fred. You know, those are ways that you're going to be able to see some of the things that I'm doing. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Like I said, connect me on LinkedIn. If you scan this QR code, I am going to be doing a webinar. So just scan it, sign up, and we'll get more information about it. But I appreciate your time. And any more questions? I know I definitely want to save some time for some questions. Go ahead.
How do you see AI agents working at different levels in a company? Because I think that for some of like the real work it makes a lot of sense to employ an agent for those repetitive tasks. But as you move higher up, and you're talking more about strategy, I keep coming back to that level of AI as a co-worker.
So at a higher level, my thought is that it's still like trickle down, because you're still managing people even at a different level, right? So mine's probably going to go back to sales. That's when you're thinking about it from that standpoint. You have sales managers, and then you have VPs, and you have this at that level. So even from an analyzation of numbers, you can have it to follow those roles and find those different anomalies that are in those in that data. So analyzing data is one big thing. Making sure that you're able to think about it from the standpoint of production, right? So analyzing the data of the production of your staff. One of the things is with AI Copilot at Microsoft is we have something called Researcher, right? So taking all of that data and cross-referencing it with different different sets. So it could be a web. It can browse your data and your spreadsheets. It can browse previous meetings, notes from previous meetings. Like it's pulling from all that data. One of the things that it talks about in AI, is grounding. And so when it talks about grounding, that means that it is taking data from either your work information that you have access to, and then it's also maybe it can go to the web, right? So it's two different things, but AI is going to ground from that information, and then that's how it's able to give you a better output. It's not just taking information from, when you think about it from the standpoint of Google this and it's going to give you a website and it's this, that. It's going to go deeper into, it's going to be able to take from your spreadsheets, the information that you give it. It's going to be able to take from your meeting notes. It's going to be able to take from multiple different sources and be able to give you, analyze that data and give you more feedback. So that's what I think about. And then like we talked about earlier, from a daily brief or a weekly brief, or, hey, I want you to, draft this based on this. It's about the creativity of, how you use it. No problem.
I'm curious what your perspective is as our employers or future employers.
Mhm.
My company right now is going through some of this. Discuss and evaluate AI governance
Mhm.
themselves
Yes.
and how to manage that. I work at a healthcare organization
Mhm.
that has a lot of access to a lot of things that need to be kept very private.
Yep.
And so I wonder what you see as kind of the path people are taking.
Yes.
So, I work in one where I have a lot of friends in healthcare who they cannot browse on
Yeah.
their internet to
Right.
ChatGPT.
Right.
But it's a little bit more of they haven't figured that out yet.
Yes, yes,
Where we
yes.
work.
No, I completely understand that. That's something that I talk to different companies about all the time, right? Just how AI governance is going to work. But that's about putting those cybersecurity guardrails in place. It's about tagging and making sure that only certain people have access to this information. And then also just simply understanding that when you're using this AI, it's not training the model. The model is training on you. It has your information and just your information alone. And that's where cybersecurity comes into play, and making sure that you understand that it's not going. But to your point, going out into the web and giving the web that information is not good. You want to make sure that it is your own small large language model that is on your platform, on your cloud, on your thing, and then putting those things in play that other organizations with, like when you're talking about healthcare, like in finance, I don't need you to be able to look at the health data of one of our clients. Those are the things that you have to put in place to make sure that you have those guardrails in place. And Microsoft does a really good job of AI governance and making sure that they're actually leading the forefront of making sure that all of those things are thought about when they're building AI, and making sure that that's already in place.
So similarly, if we are kind of doing that right, and I was showing here I've used Copilot very regularly.
Okay, cool.
How do we ensure that if I ask Copilot to
Mhm.
perhaps review all my emails for the past year
Mhm.
and help me draft my performance evaluation,
Mhm.
as I will likely be doing
Yep.
today, how do we make sure that it's not hallucinating, as a lot of the AI generative AIs can do in
Yep.
the greater world? What are the best strategies that we can employ to make sure that we're not trusting something
Yep.
that's making something up?
And it's funny because that was literally, I just got another AI certification recently, and that was one of the things that it talked about. It kept hammering it home, is that it does not replace human oversight. You have to make sure that you understand that. But from a standpoint of strategy, it is from a prompting standpoint. Hey, double check this, make sure that this is correct. These are the maybe even reference emails that you may have. Hey, let's create a document that has all the information that it needs, and then goes back to the grounding thing, right? You want to ground it in some information. You want to add the source that you want it to use, and then hey, double check, cite this source, make sure that that this is factual information. I'll come back to you. Go ahead.
So what's the best AI cert for somebody who's just entering into the field? So I already have my AI 900. I'm just looking for the next one.
You said you already have it, right?
AI 900.
AI 900? Okay. So obviously with Microsoft, it's going to be I just went and got AB 730 That's AI Business Professional. That's a good one. It gives you a good idea of how Microsoft Copilot works. Gives you a good idea of generative AI and how to do that. AB 731 is another one. It's going to be AI. It's an AI transformational leader certification. Yeah, though, I mean, like I said, I'm a little biased to Microsoft, so I know those. There's some good ones out there in Google and stuff like that. Coursera is something that I use to also find some good certs. Anything? Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm curious about your perspective of the future of agentic AI,
Mhm.
as a personal creativity. How will that influence other people's perception
Yep.
of creativity when your agents are working for you?
Yep. So I think, and I want to make sure I'm understanding the question. The perspective of like maybe like leaders or what?
I guess more so like the people that are consuming the content like put out by
Gotcha. And that, I think that really comes down to you putting yourself into the AI, like you really teaching it how to think and how to like you, and to make sure that it is taking your insight and your thoughts and creating something that you like. And it goes back to human oversight, right? Don't just allow it to create and then put out for you. Make sure that it is keeping your true authentic self in it, and make sure that it is only acting on your behalf. So going back and checking over it, making sure that you are instructing it, like you can place instructions in how you want it to talk, how you want it to speak, how you want it to follow up with people, what type of tone that you want it to have. All those things are based on what you give it. What it puts out is what you put in. So that's how I look at it. Is somebody else? Anybody?
I've been using Google Gemini and ChatGPT, now jumping into Claude. Whenever I want to just try a code a tic-tac-toe game for me,
Mm-hmm.
it puts up everything for me. I have been in IT for like 17, 18 years,
Mhm.
and then I just finished my 1-year course with GSU. Going into the job market,
Mm-hmm.
the resume, it says I have all this relevant experience there, and everything seems like it can be done with Claude Code,
Mhm.
whatever.
Right.
Even if I go
Right.
put something on my
Right.
phone, and I get stuck somewhere and go ask for help, it immediately gives me the correct code.
Right.
And the connection and everything. So, what do you say for the
So-
resume level?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the just the being able to adapt, because I think you mentioned it, like just your ego gets, and it's like it can't do, like you're fighting against the wave, right? When you when you're in the ocean, you don't fight.
I love
Yeah,
using it.
yeah, yeah.
Everything
No.
is get done by the Gen AI,
Mhm.
agentic AI. So we get kind of confused where we stand.
Mhm.
We can just go higher up.
Yep.
Okay, I can manage all this with my agents.
Yep.
So I can go up to the managerial level, but in my thought, I'm still not at that level.
Right.
So the job search or the job seeking mode itself is, where should I look for jobs, apply at which level?
Yeah, I think that's interesting, because the job opportunities are going to change, right? So just being able to, that's what I like, branding yourself as something totally different, right? Your skill set is still your skill set. The things that you were able to do based on all of those skills, it just may look different in the future. But being prepared and being, that's what I kind of talked about with the adaptability, right? Like whatever that looks like, you are still you, and the skills that you gain are because of who you are, right? It's going to be, it may not be software engineer, it may be something different, but the skills and the things that you learned as a software engineer, they cannot be replaced. And you as a person and your uniqueness cannot be replaced. And that's where it's going to be, where the people who were just, I do this job, this is me, that's what's going to be left behind, because what makes you you is going to be what stands out now. Like, how are you able to show people that's what this is? I can think beyond just, I go to work, I'm this role, and now the role has changed. Now I don't have a job. I see that a lot on LinkedIn, like people who, like all these people are getting laid off and things like that. but their role, they're looking for a specific role versus marketing themselves as that who they are, whatever that is. Like, because that role may be the role, the people that are hiring for that role may be decreasing. So the skill set and your marketability is going to have to change. It's a branding thing. Yep. Oh, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Which specific AI tools?
For me, it's going to be Microsoft Copilot. Like that's we have access to so much more and so many different things. It's ridiculous, really, how much Microsoft Copilot can do that I did not know it could do. So, but outside of that, some of the things I am using is, and this is for like, you know, that you all can go home and use right now. I started out with ChatGPT. I've been using a lot more of Claude right now. I've been, making that transition to Claude. Zapier is something that automates a lot of tasks for you, right? What else? Notion is something that is that I use, like, to just kind of have like a dashboard of things that be able to work on projects, things like that. Otter for I talked a little bit about transcription of meetings and things like that. Want to make sure that you're transcribing meetings and being able, like, I'm going to throw on, like I do it in just my, like if I'm talking to the doctor, I'm going to have Otter on so it can transcribe it and I can like truly pay attention and listen, and then it gives me a summary of what we discussed and how I can go about it. So different tools like that are going to be things that are going to help you just go into having the information, being able to automate it, and it's going to just give you some reps of being able to use AI and technology. Yeah. The last one I think is pretty simple, and they're in the forefront of what we're doing with AI, right? They're putting a lot into AI governance. They're putting a lot into how this AI is able to take everything, and I always look at it from the standpoint of from a professional level. Like from a personal level, like I said, I don't necessarily use Microsoft Copilot as much on my personal level, but as a employee, and I can speak from this standpoint, I like I said, I was with Microsoft, went to Amazon, and then went back to Microsoft. Night and day from the standpoint of the tools that Microsoft Copilot has as a professional in your day-to-day career. So that's, and you asked about Claude. And so I am still new to Claude. I'm still getting everything pushed over, but I do like the Claude's ability to integrate with different applications. So when I talk about like I use Google, so it's able to connect with your Google Workspace. It's able to connect with your apps like Zapier, like if this then that. It's able to connect with your Zooms, your Calendly, whatever the app may be. I think it connects more seamlessly, and then when you do it, it works better. So I don't know if like chat, I haven't completely left. I still use it to brainstorm and things like that. But I think that Claude does a better job, and this is, I guess, preference, but Claude is more thorough to me than chat. Yes, and cite sources more. So like even as you're putting certain things in, it's going to give you a source like after that sentence. So hey, this is where I got this from. It does that a lot better to me. Go ahead.
One more question. You told that with AI we can create a model
Mm-hmm.
which help us make our journeys.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just thought about confidentiality
Mm-hmm.
as well, which we have to follow in order to run for our companies. And I wanted to ask which AI tools can we rely on in terms of confidentiality, or how to use AI
Mm-hmm.
effectively in order to follow, especially this confidentiality.
Yep. It's going to be based on the company. The company has to allow you to use whatever that AI is. So like, for example, like I said, I work with Microsoft Copilot. So, somebody comes in, they sell Microsoft Copilot, they sell the licenses to the people, and then they put those licenses out to the companies, right? So that's where, from a confidentiality standpoint, it is totally based on the company's standpoint. Whoever they decide to be able to use for Microsoft. I mean, for your AI model that a lot of people are trying to train their own models, which that still comes back to me in my role, where I help companies from an Azure standpoint create their own AI agents and they build their AI platforms on Microsoft Azure. So even if it's an AI that the company is using internally, they may build it on Microsoft Azure. And so that's one part. And then, on your own, you just want to make sure you're being careful with what information you put into your large language model and how it's going out into the internet. Does that help? Because if not, then I want to make sure I'm answering your question.
Okay, we are at
Okay.
time, but if everybody can give a round of applause to Fred. And as a token of appreciation, we wanted to get you this small gift.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
A 15-minute to pull reigniting